Tommy Hilfiger is a well-known clothing brand, and to describe just how iconic it is, think of it as the Ferrari of the fashion industry. But let's take a step back. Who is the man behind the name? In today's video, we'll take a quick look at Tommy Hilfiger's life outside his clothing empire, including his childhood, family life, luxurious homes, and his impressive car collection. Tommy Hilfiger, or Thomas Jacob Hilfiger, as he was named, was born on March 24, 1951, and grew up in the small town of Elmira, upstate New York. He was the second of 9 kids in a working-class Irish-American family. His dad, Richard, was a watchmaker with German-Swiss roots, and his mom, Virginia, was a nurse from an Irish background. Life in Elmira during the 1960s was as classic American as it gets. Tommy attended Elmira Free Academy for high school, where his love for fashion and music started to take shape. In 1969, while still in high school, he decided to take a bold step into the retail world. With just $150 in his pocket, the young man had quite the dream. He drove down to New York City, picked up 20 pairs of bell-bottom jeans, and sold them out of the trunk of his Volkswagen Beetle back in Elmira. So how did this turn out for him? Well, let's just say it worked so well that he opened a store called People's Place. While the store initially focused on selling clothes, it quickly became a full-on hangout spot. It featured a hair salon, a record shop, and even rock concerts in the basement. Sadly, despite its popularity, running a business is tricky, especially when you're learning as you go. By 1977, People's Place went bankrupt. This, however, wasn't exactly a setback for Tommy. In fact, it was what he needed to enter the business side of fashion. He took some classes and eventually made his way back to New York City, this time working with different labels. In 1979, he launched a company called Tommy Hill, and even did work for brands like Jordache Jeans. He didn't just design on paper, he was hands-on. He spent time in factories, especially in places like India, where he could see his sketches come to life, tweaking them until they were just right. Fast forward to 1984, and along came Moham Mirjani, a businessman who believed in Tommy's vision of creating a men's sportswear line. Mirjani provided the backing, and by 1985, Tommy Hilfiger Corporation was born. By 1989, Tommy had left Mirjani International and found a new financial partner in Silas Chow. Together, they took the brand to the next level. The Tommy Hilfiger Corporation went public in 1992, and it was during this time that Hilfiger introduced his signature menswear collection. By 1995, he was named Menswear Designer of the Year by the Council of Fashion Designers of America. Between 2000 and 2024, Tommy Hilfiger, the brand now, went through some amazing changes. One of the coolest things they did was introduce digital showrooms. These spaces were decked out with Ultra HD screens, making it super easy for buyers to browse collections and see every detail up close. Another standout moment? In 2017, they launched an adaptive clothing line. We're talking magnetic closures, adjustable hems, just simple touches for people with disabilities. It was a big step in making fashion more inclusive and accessible for everyone. And who can forget the celebrity collabs? Over the years, stars like Gigi Hadid and Zendaya teamed up with the brand to create collections that blended Tommy's classic style with modern vibes. Of course, they didn't stop there. The brand opened more than 2,000 stores worldwide while also growing their online presence. They managed to stay on top, proving that they're the top dogs in the world of fashion. Today, Tommy Hilfiger's brand is still rated among the top menswear brands in the world, quite the achievement for a journey that started with $150. Fun fact, Tommy Hilfiger also made his mark in movies and TV. You may have seen him pop up in the 2001 comedy Zoolander, where he played himself and added some extra fun to the fashion world parody. He returned for Zoolander 2 in 2016, and he also made a cameo in Ocean's 8 in 2018. But trust me, his involvement doesn't stop there. He's been a guest judge on Project Runway and Project Runway All-Stars. He even served as a fashion consultant on American Idol. Sounds like Tommy got his hands full. Tommy's had a full and colorful family life with multiple marriages and 7 kids and a beautifully blended family. There's plenty to talk about. Back in 1980, Tommy married Susie Cerrone, who was a model at the time. Together, they had 4 children: Allie, Rich, Elizabeth, and Kathleen. Allie, for one, has followed in her dad's creative footsteps. She's a designer and an author. Rich took a different route and became a musician. After 20 years together, Tommy and Susie decided to part ways, finalizing their divorce in 2000. Tommy tied the knot again in 2008, this time with Dee Aklepo. Dee, like Tommy's first wife, was a former model, but is also a fashion designer in her own right. She brought 2 sons into the marriage, Alex and Julian Aklepo. Julian went on to become a professional tennis player. In 2009, Tommy and Dee welcomed their own son, Sebastian. With that, their family grew to 7 kids in total. Tommy and Dee are known for their active involvement in their children's lives. They've also been very open about raising kids with autism, as 3 of their 7 children have been diagnosed with ASD. Clearly for them, family comes first, whether it's cheering on Julian at a tennis match, supporting their kids' creative dreams, or advocating for greater awareness and understanding of autism. While Tommy has a beautiful family and a pretty awesome business, let's take a look at some of his residences, and just for fun, his car collection. Located at 591 Riversville Road in Greenwich, Connecticut, a Denbigh farm started as a farmhouse way back in the late 1700s. But in 1901, William T. Carrington bought it and brought in architects Albro and Lindbergh to transform it into a grand manor house. Today it sits on over 17 acres with some interesting views of Long Island Sound. In 1995, fashion mogul Tommy Hilfiger and his then-wife Susie purchased the place. Immediately they began serious renovations, keeping the old farmhouse while also bringing in some modern amenities. The main house itself is around 14,000 square feet, with 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, and 4 powder rooms. Inside, you've got a step-down drawing room with a super high ceilings and wood paneling that feels both grand and cozy. The formal dining room has original Gracie Chinese wallpaper. The kitchen has an original meat locker. Talk about old school cool. The gardens are really neat, with manicured lawns and an apple orchard. There are horse stables, tennis courts, and even a carriage house. There's also a playhouse that's designed like George Washington's Mount Vernon estate. Equestrian lovers would be right at home here, with a 6-stall stable, 2 paddocks, and a riding ring, all surrounded by classic white picket fences. And if you're more interested in taking a dip or playing tennis, the property has a pool, tennis court, and even some English sculpture gardens. After Tommy and Susie divorced, Susie kept Denbigh Farm as her home. In 2021, she put the property on the market for a whopping $40 million. But after some price drops, it sold in June 2023 for $15 million. Back in 2008, Tommy Hilfiger and his new wife, Dee Aklepo, made a big splash in New York City by purchasing a duplex penthouse at the iconic Plaza Hotel for $25.5 million. They then went all in with a major $20 million renovation, transforming the 6,050 square foot space into a super stylish residence. For starters, the penthouse featured a grand salon with 10-foot ceilings and Juliet balconies that overlooked Fifth Avenue and the Grand Army Plaza. The formal dining room was pretty wild, with mirrored walls and hot pink trim that really popped. The eat-in kitchen was inspired by a French bistro, complete with black cabinetry and a marble backsplash. Upstairs, the master suite had a spa-inspired marble bathroom, a deep soaking tub, and a separate steam shower. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, the suite had its own private terrace overlooking Central Park. As for the other 3 bedrooms, each one had a unique theme. One was nautical, another was lavender, and the third was pure rock and roll. The penthouse spanned the 18th and 19th floors of the Plaza Hotel, offering some of the best views in the city. The real standout, though, was the Dome Room, a rare feature in the building. It was beautifully painted with murals by Hilary Knight, same illustrator behind the Eloise books, which added a quirky, whimsical touch to the space. After 11 years on the market, Tommy and Dee finally sold the penthouse in October 2019 for $31.25 million. Far less than the original asking price of $80 million. While the price drop was pretty drastic, it was still a significant deal, showing just how much value this glamorous New York residence held. In 2013, Tommy Hilfiger and his wife Diak bought a beautiful oceanfront mansion in Golden Beach, Florida for $17.25 million. The place was huge, spanning 10,300 square feet with 7 bedrooms on a 0.6-acre lot with 100 feet of beachfront. Wanting to give the house their own touch, the Hilfigers brought in interior designer Martin Lawrence Boulard. The home featured bold patterns, vibrant colors, and a mix of textures in every room. There was a black marble staircase, hair-on hide carpets adding texture, and even guest rooms with scratch and sniff fruit wallpapers. The real fun part was the silver sculpture of Mickey Mouse sitting right in the foyer. On the outside, the property didn't disappoint either. There was a resort-style infinity pool, a private beach cabana, and, of course, direct access to the beautiful sandy beach. In 2017, Tommy and Dee listed the mansion for $27.5 million. After a few price adjustments, they sold it in 2021 for $24 million to real estate investor Grant Cardone. In 2021, Tommy Hilfiger and his wife Diak returned to Florida, this time to Palm Beach, when they purchased a gorgeous Mediterranean-style villa for $21 million. Sitting right on the water at 313 Dunbar Road, this home had the perfect mix of old-world charm and modern convenience, making it one of those properties that instantly feels special. The house itself is over 5,000 square feet with 3 bedrooms including a primary suite that's pure indulgence. There's also 2 balconies overlooking the lake and a cozy sitting area for quiet mornings. Built in 2006, the home is packed with character with pecky cypress ceilings and a coral stone fireplace. Inside, there's a formal living room for entertaining, a comfy family room, and a dining room perfect for hosting dinners. The gourmet kitchen's a real showstopper with top-of-the-line appliances and plenty of room. Outside, there's a sparkling pool surrounded by lush tropical landscaping, a dock on the intra-coastal waterway for boating enthusiasts, and a beautiful column loggia that's perfect for outdoor dining. Oh, and there's a summer kitchen too, perfect for grilling outside. In March 2024, the Hilfigers put the property back on the market for $35.9 million. While it's not their first time flipping luxury homes, they initially listed it in 2022 for $39.7 million, but it quickly went under contract. It's pretty clear that selling high-end real estate is kind of their thing, and this Palm Beach villa was no exception. Okay, it's no secret that Tommy's homes are all super luxurious, and in turn, super expensive. But did you know he also has a taste for really expensive cars? Tommy started with his first car, a 1960s white Oldsmobile, and from there his passion for cars just grew. One of the most impressive pieces was a Ferrari Enzo. This supercar is a true symbol of Ferrari's engineering brilliance, and only 400 were ever made. Tommy managed to get his hands on a 2003 model thanks to his connection with Ferrari during his sponsorship of their Formula One team. In 2016, though, he decided to auction it off and went for a whopping $2.7 million at RM Sotheby's in Scottsdale, Arizona. But the Ferrari Enzo wasn't the only standout in Tommy's collection. He also owns a Rolls-Royce Dawn, a car that screams luxury. You gotta be super rich to own a Rolls-Royce. There's also a Mercedes-Benz Maybach, known for its incredible comfort and tech. For a touch of classic charm, he owns a 1971 Mercedes-Benz 250 SL, and if you want to talk about thoughtful gifts, his wife, Diak gave him a 1991 Rolls-Royce Corniche convertible. So, technically, he's got 2 Rolls-Royces. Over time, Tommy's taste in cars has shifted. While he used to be all about high-performance sports cars, now he seems to prefer a smoother, more refined driving experience. Cars like the Rolls-Royce Dawn and the Mercedes-Benz Maybach show just how much his taste has changed. And even better, how he's catching up with the old money style. Interestingly, Tommy's even brought the world of fashion and cars together. His collaboration with Mercedes-AMG F1 in 2024 and artist Clarence Ruth is just one example of how he mixes these 2 passions. We probably could have had a Tommy Hilfiger car fashion show. Who knows? That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on our latest videos. See you in the next one.